Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. I'm very pleased to be joined by Anas Aljuaidi. Anas is the CEO of MMEC Mannesmann, who is an Emirati engineering business, obviously with some German ancestry, as it were, in terms of the business name and some of their IP. But welcome, Anas. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me, Nadim.
So you are obviously, as I said, an Emirati engineering business. I think you've got nearly 500 odd people hard at work, based in the UAE, but you're going to be in Germany and the World Electrolysis Congress with your team. Can you tell me a little bit about the background to Mannesmann there in the UAE and the work that you're doing and the team that you've built up, and so yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nadim, for your time, and thank you very much for calling for this interview. And indeed, I will be more than happy to participate next week in the electrolyzer conference in Düsseldorf and meet some friends, colleagues from the industry. Indeed, so MMEC Mannesmann, it's 100% an Emirati company based on engineering capability. So Mannesmann used to be a German company till 2020, and since that, it has been acquired successfully from an Emirati shareholder. Since 2020, Mannesmann is operating as a 100% Emirati company in UAE. So our journey started from more than 4 years in the hydrogen, when we start to look at, from engineering perspective, in different technology related to the electrolyzers, starting with PAM, alkaline, and the SOC. So Mannesmann, as I mentioned, it's an engineering company, and we start to feel responsible when UAE start to put the national hydrogen strategy about achieving the net zero. So as a private sector, we was planning from day one to be part of this journey and to be really part of this goal. So we start to do our due diligence, and we start to do our own design when it's come to the electrolyzer, when it's come to the next projects and the decarbonization. And since 2020, we have the renewable departments in our company, which they are 100% responsible about the renewable projects in the company.
Excellent. And in terms of some of the projects, I know you've been working. You've actually deployed an HRS, hydrogen refueling station. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the work you're doing, and also maybe expand around the design issues around electrolyzers as well?
I mean, let me start it, Nadim, from, as I mentioned, from 2020, when we start to look at the ongoing projects and the niche market projects and the decarbonization. We started really to look about how Mannesmann can add a value in such projects, and we start the first project in that time with one of our projects with ADNOC for the enhancement oil recovery by reducing the normal operation emissions for the drilling production by around 30 to 35%, with utilizing the polymer with water instead of only injecting water to get oil. And worldwide, how is the oil and gas company are working? They are injecting in approximately 10 barrels of water in order to get 1 barrel of oil.
Wow.
However, with our new technology, we are injecting 6 barrels of polymer and water, and we are getting 1 barrel of the oil. With that, you are reducing an around 40% of your operation by using all of those generations in order to inject. And subsequently to this, you are reducing as well the emissions from burning all of this generation generator, diesel, and the other gasoline equipment. So with that, we start to look at in the benefits of really decarbonizing the ongoing project, ongoing operation. We did the second project as well for ADNOC by utilizing polymer components for the sand stabilization. So we use that in our construction fields. In all of our construction projects, we are using chemical components for stabilizing the sand instead of the gatch. So we avoid the black top in all of our construction work, and that's reduced around 50% of the emissions from the gatch, because gatch have a lot, of course, have a lot of the asphalt, have a lot of carbon emissions. So that was our second achievement in decarbonization. The third one, when we start really to enter to the hydrogen in particular, we start to evaluate, as I mentioned, the technologies one by one to look what is the needs for UAE. There is different technology, and for sure, all of those technologies, it's proven technology used in different projects worldwide. So you cannot say this is good and this is bad, but you can say that we are required to this technology more than the other technology based on the available resources in your country. For example, we saw as Mannesmann that is the solid oxide technology, it might be much better to be used in UAE due to that is we have enough heat sources in UAE, and whenever you have a heat source, then solid oxide can be one of the most efficient system that can produce hydrogen. So from this perspective, we start to approach different technology provider, to qualify the solid oxide technology. And in 2021, 2022, we signed a memorandum of understanding with Ceres Power, a UK company, technology provider for the solid oxide, in order to do for Emirati Steel the first pilot projects with a solid oxide technology. So from this perspective, we started our journey in the hydrogen and in general in the renewable and decarbonization projects.
Yeah, it's exciting to see. I particularly like the Emirati Steel project because clearly, moving to hydrogen, as it were, it's tough to move the hydrogen around. So it's definitely an opportunity, I think, around helping to decarbonize industries in the UAE, and indeed potentially also, I think, attract industry to the UAE, where you're going to have obviously some of the cheapest hydrogen. In terms of the electrolyzer design, what are some of the constraints? I know you were speaking before, and you were talking about really looking to design a very low footprint electrolyzer process, potentially to look at using them in the urban context. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
I mean, when we did the projects, the first hydrogen refueling station in UAE, so that was the first hydrogen refueling station that's UAE built in Emirates of Abu Dhabi. Mannesmann was the main contractor, the EPC contractor, and with that we start really to look at the electrolyzer design. We enhanced a lot for the electrolyzer that we purchased, and from that we start really our journey by designing our electrolyzer by ourselves. So for that, I see that is the game for the time being. It's a game of design rather than a game of a technology, because the technology efficiency with the solid oxide, we are pretty sure that can fit our country here, but we need to make sure to scale up the solid oxide technology that we have a right design for scaling that's up. And here it's our expertise. As I mentioned, Mannesmann is based on an engineering capability. So we start really to look about how we can enhance the design before to go to the manufacturing.
So in terms of the scope of the work that Mannesmann is looking to take on in terms of helping other businesses develop projects, are you looking to partner with them as a classic EPC in terms of that role, as well as a sort of systems integration as well? There's obviously a lot of proven technology, but it's about bringing it all together and getting the technologies to work together. So that sort of classic, I guess, systems integration, which I guess must be very interesting because it is such a new area.
Yeah, I mean, look, in the end of the day, Mannesmann it's offering to the market different services. The first service, that's our classic EPC. Whenever the technology will be ready, so we can implement it, that's directly. So that is the first service. The second service, that's the one that we are working for the time being to enhance the design of the electrolyzer itself in order to make it scaling to be able to scale the technology up. The third one, which is the integration. So Mannesmann is working as well as a technology integrator. So we are integrating technology together. For example, when we built the hydrogen refueling station, it was more than 35 components. And to integrate all of those components together wasn't an easy job for our engineering.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So that's the three services that's Mannesmann is for the time being it's doing. Plus the fourth one, Mannesmann, we have our industrial arm. We are manufacturing industrial gases like nitrogen, oxygen, and so on. So for that, we are really start to enter the electrolyzer manufacturing sector. So for that, whenever we will end up by having our own design, then for sure we will start to manufacture our own electrolyzer instead.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, it's fascinating stuff. I was obviously in the UAE recently with COP. Saw a tremendous movement now in terms of decarbonisation across the region. Is that similar to your perspective? You've obviously been involved in the industry for a number of years.
I mean, in terms of COP, for sure, COP give us after the UAE consequences that we saw and a lot of the commencement that happened, and the entire world agreed for the first time to shut down the oil and gas and to really convert to the renewables and to start really the journey and hydrogen in particular. We have to as well switch, and we have as well to be part of this journey, Nadeem. So at the end of the day, Mannesmann, it's an energy company. We have our fossil department, so we have our carbon department, and we have our renewable department. I don't see that as the switch or the transition that happened within days, within months, or within years. That will take for sure a long time, due to that is from the day one of this work till today we are using fossil, so we cannot now switch it in a second. So that will take time. That transaction period, it will not be in short period. For that, we will continue, and always the world need energy. So we need to continue by pushing in the both direction. The direction of the carbon will work more in the decarbonization projects. So by trying as much as we can to reduce the carbon from the ongoing operation projects, and the other department, the renewable department, will continue more to push for enhancing design and implementation of hydrogen and other similar projects in the renewables.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, certainly it's our view in terms of sort of, I guess, two pathways. You have low carbon hydrogen which for me is around decarbonising the existing natural gas industry, and you have another separate industry which is, you know, driving a green hydrogen industry. So they both need to grow at the same time. So it's been great to talk to you, Mr. Anas Aljuaidi, and we wish you all the success with driving Mannesmann forward, and indeed look forward to meeting you face to face at the World Electrolysis Congress, which is fast approaching us, the 4th to the 7th of March in Dusseldorf. So thank you for your support, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to chat to me today.
Thank you very much, Nadeem, and likewise, it was a pleasure meeting you, and thank you very much to you and the World Hydrogen leaders. And I'm much looking forward to meet you, your colleagues, and the industrial colleagues and friends in Düsseldorf. I'm really looking forward to see more technologies, more news about scaling this up. And I was part of this event last year as a visitor, but I must say that was one of the most important events that I attend. That's why we decided this year to participate as a sponsor, and that in order to support such as events. Very conservative when it's come to I mean the information and I mean it's exactly to the point. There is a lot of events. We have I mean the collecting speakers or audience, but they are more, let's say, in different sectors, different markets, different. I must say, in the Electrolyzer Congress last year, it was for me like a lesson and a session like in university. So you are sitting, you have people that you are speaking, and they are really start to note because there is a lot of really information that's really adding to my mind things. So it's really a very nice event, and I'm looking much forward to be there again.
That's great to hear you say that, and obviously it helps us drive our work and our team. You know, we hope that we're providing value, and comments like that just make it all worthwhile. So many thanks for your kind words, and I look forward to meeting you face to face. Many thanks.
Thank you, Nadeem.
Okay.
Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you.